Episode of Dallas Confidential TV. This is your boy Shug Johnson coming to you live here in WPS Studios here in DeSoto, Texas. We got a great show for you today. We're going to continue with last week's show, Dating Dilemmas. But before we jump into that, we got some things to talk about. What's going on in our world here, in our nation, as well as in our right here going on right now in Dallas. That has shaken our whole community here in the city. Before we jump into that, I want to introduce my co-host here on the panel.
Ryan Russell, hi, welcome to Dallas Confidential TV.
Dr. Holly Mays.
All right, so welcome guys. It's good to be with y'all again on another episode of this amazing show. As you all know, over the past week here, we've been dealing with the killing of George Floyd up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm so sorry. It's been so much going on. My mind has been boggled because now it has not only affected the nation, but it has hit a little bit closer home with the rioting and the looting here in Dallas, Texas, which is very odd to me. I don't understand why is it happening here in our city. I understand why people are upset, but why are we handling it like that? You know, as a black man here in Dallas, I have never been in this type of situations where I had to, run in with the police officers or anything of that nature. But what happened then and what has been happening over the past few years has directly impacted us as black men and our black culture in America. So what do y'all think about what's going on in regards to the George Floyd now hitting closer to home that's here in Dallas?
I mean, me personally, it's almost like a flashback because I was there in the LA riots during the 90s after Rodney King was beaten on videotape, and then all police officers were acquitted, and it started off as a protest where, you want to hear our voices speak, but it was also a time of so much frustration that built up. And then that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. So it's almost like a flashback. And it's almost like now I came to Dallas because when I came, it almost like I saw a better beginning for my kids and my family. Not so much so for the environment, as far as, it was more so as far as the cost of living was cheaper. I saw a way to do better for myself and have an opportunity to provide for a future family. But then it got to the point of, I got here, everything's established, and now it's almost like you can never just run away from the problem, which I never did. It's almost like, well, what is society's gonna do with something that's constantly been going on outside of the camera? And now we have evidence on videotape, on camera. So I feel the city's frustration. I just think the way and approach they go about it, it's almost like you can be positive and more effective, but you don't have to tear down the neighborhoods, because it's almost like you're speeding up the process of gentrification anyway, where these are the same neighborhoods and areas that you have to shop and live in.
Right.
So it's almost like it's counterproductive to where, I'm not saying to go to Highland Park and destroy their stuff, but we got a seat at the table to speak, for them to hear our voices. And stuff like this, Fox News, all these other areas or media programs look for this to kind of counteract, okay, we're making progress, but then they're going to call us thugs, which we know we're not thugs.
Right.
So it's frustrating, but I feel their pain, exactly.
So Holly, let me ask you a question in regards to in a different direction, because we all grew up in the era where the LA riots happened with the Rodney King, and now we have a racist prick for a president, and he referred to our black men or the people that were loitering and looting and rioting in Minneapolis as thugs. How does that resonate with you as being your people being, or our people being referenced as thugs, and then he said shoot if they loot?
Let me be very clear. Some people are thugs. Let's just be very clear. Thugs means different things to different people. To people that view that word as a demeaning term, we look like we're the enemy. However, to those that truly know what thugs are and truly been in the streets, been to the hoods, and know that a thug can be your best friend. A thug can be that person that just have a strong will, a strong heart, a strong mind, that don't take no mess. A thug can be somebody. So you got to look at where the content is coming from.
The content that he made was to be derogatory.
That's what I'm saying. So you got to look at where the content comes from, and you got to look at also the intention behind the content. It's always going to be made to where we are the underdog, and I said this on a live earlier. When we can't be naive and not think that, and I'm gonna say it. I know Dunn don't want me to say it, but we can't be naive to think that white folks don't understand what white folks doing. We just can't. We can't be naive. And after 440 years of oppression and suppression of a group of people, you now know how they feel. You know what they're dealing with. You know how they move in this type of environment. That's why you can continue to do what you're doing. So for me, dealing with 3 black boys, I have 3 children. I have 3 boys, one which graduated from high school. So no, it doesn't resonate with me well because I don't like the intention. I don't like that it's okay to go on a national televised show such as CNN or Fox News, and our president of the United States can use terms that if we use towards him, we'll have the Secret Service at our door.
Exactly.
That's
You
why I
understand
said what
what
I
I'm
want to say.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
racist
Absolutely.
free.
That's why I don't hold back. And I always said, listen, we going after police officers. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish some of these newscasters would get fired. I wish some of these news channels would get boycotted and protested against. Because some of the stuff that's going out of proportion, is because of them. Because y'all want a story, you want a show. And the government is linking with them. They're not gonna tell you, but they're linking with them and saying, show this, show that, but don't show this. Show this at this time, but don't show this. And they're coming together. And it's always to make us as a culture look bad. Like our lineage is bad, like our character is bad. And Black America has never had bad character. We've always stood 10 toes down, as they call it.
Well, every race have their own character flaws. And bringing it
Of
back
course.
home, on the smaller spectrum, you guys attended the peaceful protest on yesterday, which turned around to be, debauchery and foolery that, made what y'all did that was positive turn out to be something in vain.
Right.
Because of someone's ignorance and childishness. Now, how do you view that? I mean, what would you say in regards to that? And our leaders that we're here, and we seeing this happen. What took place on the protest on yesterday?
For me, it was positive to where when I went out there, I saw black, white people come together
Right.
collectively for a movement to where it wasn't just about a human being. It was about a black person, a black son, father, husband was not just murdered, he was tortured, he was abused, he was dehumanized. It was like so many levels of pain, and all of us not only could relate to that pain,
Right.
it's also now you can't deny it. Obviously.
Absolutely.
Now it's to a whole nother level where this is concrete evidence of stuff we've been enduring for years and years and years, and not only just the black people that felt the pain. Now we got, I think it was CNN newscasters or reporters are getting arrested. So now the media is getting attacked for reporting the news. So now they're coming after everybody in addition to us. So at the rally yesterday, it was very uplifting to
Right.
where
Right, it was.
you heard people coming together, protesting peacefully at the Dallas police station. And for me, I wish I could have brought my son there because for him to see that in person, to see that we not all what they try to glorify us on television.
Right.
We're actually what I raised you to be is a small, intelligent black young man.
Right.
And I pray over you every single day for that reason to where this depiction of us is always counteracted the way we respond to it. And that definitely was just uplifting to see them come together like this.
So where did it turn? And again, like you said, the media is, making it seem like it's just all black people that have
Right.
rioting
Yeah.
and looting. but there's Hispanics, there's even white people that are looting that
Right.
we're not seeing, but behind the scenes, there it has been known, and there's pictures of Hispanics and white people, but us as a black culture, we're the ones getting, blamed for everything.
Let me say this real quick, and let's just cut to the chase here. You asked a question. You said, where did it turn?
Yes.
Mentality is where it turned. When you have a difference in mentality taking over a situation, that's when things turn for the worse. This is why I got on my live and I got really upset at religious leaders for not coming out. I'm not knocking the ones that were there. It was about 5 of us there, okay? But this is a time where leadership should have stood up and stayed
totally agree.
throughout. Because when you take leadership out of something, then you have the people to fend for themselves. And if psychologically they're not where they need to be in a situation like this, they're going to fend for themselves.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's what you saw. You saw a group of people fending for themselves because there is no guidance. There is no leadership. When we had the rally, there was leadership there. Okay? It don't mean it was your personal leader, but you had someone directing it, organizing it, structuring it, systematically approaching things. When you take that element out, all of a sudden you get chaos. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing is, let's be very clear about one thing, okay? The reason why we are depicted as the minority and we're the lesser is because we're actually the strongest. Okay? Let's just clear that up right now. Someone made a statement yesterday on Fox News that said that from an economic standpoint, Black America is not as strong as white America, which was a mistake. Right. Because Black America runs this country with our economic strength. And they understand if they keep us in a confused state, if they keep us in a low mentality, then guess what? We'll always operate in the mentality that we are in. That's why we have to get better, and we have to make sure that we are. When I say uprising, I don't mean it as uprising as tearing up things, but we have to rise up to the occasion. This is our time.
Rise above.
We got to. This is our time to really say, wait, hold on just a second. We got more young black men and women that are graduating from college. We have more black young men and women that are becoming entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, okay? And we need to take advantage of that, because if we don't, you're going to see more of this. You're going to see more of this, you know?
So, in a nutshell, I want to end this segment in regards to, before we go to break, I just want our community leaders, our spiritual leaders to step up, because we all have an opinion, we all want to complain, but we don't know the direction of going. And I think it should start with our community leaders.
Absolutely.
Not only just out there for political gain.
Yes.
I mean, I get it that Senator Royce West was out there, but then he wants to throw John Cornyn or whoever is not here. It's not the time for that.
That was a campaign.
We don't need you campaigning. We need your help and leading us in the direction. That's the best way to campaign, by your actions. Not what's said, what's understood don't need to be explained.
And let me say this real quick, Judd, because me and Ryan talked about this, and I open this up to any young man, older man that's in our community. Next Friday, at 7 p.m., we're having a live meeting. We're having a Zoom meeting. We're going to meet in this building, or you can come via Zoom. It doesn't matter. And listen, we're going to talk about every single issue going on, not just police brutality. That's just a small part of the spectrum. We're going to talk about black unemployment. We're going to talk about black entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about black domestic violence. We're going to talk about all those things black. And if you want to, I don't want to know the problem. Okay, we know the issue. Come with solutions. That's the time to come to solutions. If you know somebody that can get to somebody, tell them to come out and let's talk about solutions. I don't want to hear about all these coalitions and all that. All right? Because every coalition ain't for everybody. Let's simply talk about 3 S's. System, structure, and strategy. That's all we're talking about next week, 7 o'clock.
Power One. We'll be back here in a few minutes back with Dallas Confidential. We're going to come back to dating dilemmas.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for joining us at WPS Studios right now in 900 East Beltline Road, DeSoto, Texas, 75115. We pray that you are enjoying the show. We want to give a shout out to Dr. Vanell Warren. Over at WPS Studios, they specialize in filming, photography, videography. And if you are a church and you're looking to grow and develop that ministry, listen, they also operate in chapel services as well. Also, want to give a shout out to the team of money coaches, Miss Ebony Thomas. You can check her out on Facebook at Ebony Money Coach Thomas, 334-430-7078. Their services include life insurance, fraud, annuities, property protection. And if you are a business entrepreneur, guess what? They also operate in counseling and mentorship. I also want to give a shout out to Juice Fruits LLC. You can get in touch with them at Juice Fruits Houston. www.judefruitshtx.com. It's a lifestyle, not a weekend. Give a shout out to my cousin, my kinfolk, my brother, Mitchell Dixon. And you can also follow them on Instagram and Facebook. I want to give a shout out also to JSE Productions. They are responsible for the intro and the outro and all the graphic work that you guys see. Give a shout out to Miss Sophia Edwards at 214-916-8657. And I would be remiss not to talk about the people that really made my clothing brand come to life. Those guys over there at Prestige Creations, where perception becomes reality. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Prestige Creations. Or you can email for design prices at prestigecreations@gmail.com. Also, if you guys are looking for internships and volunteers, guess what? We have a program for you. We're now accepting applications for internships. You can reach out to hello@DallasConfidential.tv, or you can also call Dr. Holly Mays worldwide at gmail.com. We are looking for cameramen, directors, producers, set coordinators, groomings, for men and women, you name it. So if you want to be in front of the camera and you want to sit up here and let your light shine on TV, hey, team up with Dallas Confidential TV and we will put you where you need to be at. Back to you, Don.
Thank you very much, Holly. Guys, thank you so much for opening up the show, talking about the rally that we had here in Dallas. I was out there. I know you were like, where did the guys go? So I wanted to take a few minutes just to talk a little bit about what we saw at the rally. We have our special guest, Crystal Roberts, back on the show. She is here to talk about dating dilemmas, but we wanted to take a few minutes first and foremost to send our love and prayers out to George Floyd's family, to Breonna Taylor's family, to Christian Cooper, to Tatiana Jefferson's family. We want to send a prayer out to Ahmaud Arbery's family. I have my daughter, Valley Dior Chisholm, who's here on the show with me. Crystal Roberts, who's here. Crystal is here because her son is currently deployed to Germany. He is active military in the Army, and she wanted to speak a little bit about how this is affecting her as a mother to a young black man who is currently serving his country right now in the military. And when he's over there, he's honored. But when he comes back here to Dallas, Texas, he's like every other black man in these streets. He's no longer seen as honored. He's no longer praised. He's no longer understood to have given his life over. He left college to go and serve his country. What does that feel like, Crystal? Understanding that when he's over in Germany, they see him as heroic. They see him as militant. They see him as a action figure. But when he comes back here to Dallas, he's the N-word.
It's definitely raises a lot of concern. Like Dawn said, that my son went to college to Stephen F. Austin for 3 years. And I do recall the very first day I dropped him off over in East Texas. As soon as I got home, he called me and was like, Mom, me and my roommate, we were walking to the store and some white guys had drove by, these 18-year-old boys walking down the street from, by the college campus, and were calling them the N-word. So, at that point is when reality hit for me that, have already raised this young black boy. Now I have a young black man who is now out in the world to fend for himself. And so, you know, one thing's for sure, I stay prayed up and pray over him, you know, and I just ask that God guides him in a way that, you know, just keep him covered and protected, to where, you know, he knows how to be aware of certain situations and how to handle certain situations. After 3 years, he went to the military, and it is unfortunate that I have heard him complain a couple times that even in the military, serving this country that we call great, you know, there's still racism in this, even in the military. You know, you have white guys who refer to their military brothers as boy because they're not white, you know, and they're men. They're all men and women. So it's definitely bothers him. It bothers me. It bothers our family. But you know, it's unfortunate that even in 2020 we have to deal with things like this.
And Valley, for you, understanding that you were raised up in Plano around a plethora of races and cultures and genders, and that you were not raised to see color. You go to one of the most prominent high schools in Dallas. You love Caucasian boys. You want to marry a Caucasian boy. Being out there, what was that like for you, understanding that you have brothers, your fathers are black, your pawpaws are black? What was that like for you? What does this feel like for you, seeing all of this going on around you right now?
Well, when I was younger, when we moved to Plano and we moved to the north side where it was predominantly white, you kind of shielded me from how it is to be a black person in America by surrounding me around white people, surrounding me by other races, and we don't really see color kind of in Plano.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we came back here, when I got into Booker T, it's different because I've never been so surrounded by more black people in a school than I do at Booker T.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a mixture of races also at the same time. And when I went to the rally, before I got there, I wasn't expecting such a powerful voice and messages like that were being said. And when you're just there and you're surrounded by all these people, and white people were there and they were supporting Black Lives Matter, it's just, you feel more empowered because you can feel their energy and it kind of, you absorb it yourself. And then you're more empowered, you're uplifted, and you feel thankful that you have all these people that are out here to support such a probable cause that is happening in America. And it just amazes me how this is even happening in America, saying that it is 2020 and segregation ended like 50, 60, 70 years ago, and this is still happening. And yeah.
I want to say, being out there at the rally, I, like my daughter, felt empowered. It was emotional. It was impactful. I, too, did not expect to see a plethora of people out there. I expected to get out there. I expected for people to be angry. I expected for them to want to see an action right then. People were sad. They felt disheartened. People felt empty. But we were there. It was so many Caucasian people. It was Hispanic people. There were Asian people. I felt so proud of Dallas, Texas at that moment. People had posters. They had flyers. There was cameras. People were holding hands. People were crying together. I could have not been more proud of the city that I lived in at that moment. Did it get crazy later? It absolutely did. I don't know where we went wrong. I don't know how we went wrong. What I do want to tell you, Dallas, Texas, is that we are better than what happened after 9 p.m. We are better than that. We have to stand strong in what we believe. We have to show our children that we are not that. We can make a change for the better. We can affect change by doing the work. We can raise our voices in a very political, respectful, empowered way. We can do it, but with our voices, with our hearts, but not with our hands. You guys, we have to affect change with our votes. If you want to make a change, you have to vote. Please do so. If you don't know how to vote, please speak to someone at a church, at a school. Go to your nearest U.S. Postal Service. They can help you figure out how to vote. That's how we're going to make a change. The great thing that this bad thing is happening this year is that we have an election that's coming up in just a few short months. You can make a change. Get out and vote. Are you ready to vote?
I mean, I got like 3 more years left.
I know, but you know that you can vote, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's it.
Okay, you guys, thank you for tuning in to Dallas Confidential TV. Our hearts go out to George Floyd family. We can affect change. We have to vote. We love you, Dallas.
Once again, we want to thank you guys for joining Dallas Confidential TV, where we talk about everything Dallas and in between. Listen, I want to give a shout out to Ebony Money Coach Thomas. Really want you guys to check out the team of money coaches over at 334-430-7078. You can follow her on Facebook under Ebony Money Coach Thomas, where they specialize in life insurance, fixed annuities, property protection, and if you're an up-and-coming business, they are responsible for making sure that you have mentorship and guidance in that endeavor. Want to give a shout out to WPS Studios who make it all happen. Dr. Vanell Warren, 900 East Beltline Road, DeSoto, Texas, 75115. Those guys specialize in filming, photography, videography. And if you're an up-and-coming church and you need a place to worship, guess what? They also operate in chapel services as well. Want to give a shout out to Juice Fruits LLC, straight out of Houston, Texas. Mitchell Dixon, where he said it's a lifestyle, not just a weekend. Fresh fruit and vegetable cold pressed juices. Go to www.juicefruitshtx.com. And I would be remiss not to give a shout out to JSE Productions. Miss Sophia Edwards, 214-916-8657. Anything you need from graphic design or any type of video, these guys can take care of it. Give her a shout out at 214-916-8657 or inquire going to JSE Productions at gmail.com. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out to Prestige Creations, where perception becomes reality. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Prestige Creations. Email for design prices at prestigecreations@gmail.com. Now back to Dating Dilemmas, Part 2 on Dallas Confidential TV.
Thank you very much, Holly. We're happy to be back. Okay, you guys, we had to take a moment to deal with what's going on in the world today. It's heavy, it's impactful, but we got to get back to this Dating Dilemma show. I hope you guys understand that we had to address that, but now that we have, John, are you ready to deal with dating dilemmas?
I'm ready.
You know that we had to do this show again because of you, right?
That's all right.
Okay, good. Okay, so Holly's gonna kill me because I have my phone right now, and it drives him crazy that I'm not staring at the camera. But Holly, I got the viewers' notes on my phone, Holly. So I have to pull it up, Holly. Don't kill me. Holly's behind the camera, rolling his eyes at me, viewers. You know what, Holly?
What?
I came up with what we're gonna call our viewers. They're called VIPs. Do you like it? Y'all like that?
VIP?
Yeah, you like that, Crystal?
I'm VIPs.
Our
That's what's up.
VIPs.
So everybody that comes into viewing us on Dallas Confidential TV, let's let it be known you're now
VIPs.
already.
Woo!
All right.
Holly's like, where did y'all get this stuff from? She kills me. Okay, so the other day, VIPs, my husband and I were at our pool. We were sitting out chilling. It was all like 65 degrees, but I just could not stay in the house. I was about to have a nervous breakdown. I'm like, we're going outside. So we went outside and we were just like scrolling through our phone, listening to music, having a great time. And I was on my timeline and I saw this story and I was like, I have to read it on our show. Okay. I have to give credit. ready because I don't want somebody to see this story and be like, oh my gosh, she stole that from off her Facebook. Okay, so I'm letting you know that I got this off of Facebook, which is public record, so I should be able to read it. It was on Conversate With Us, which is like a group off of Facebook. Okay, y'all are gonna die when y'all hear this. Are y'all ready?
We're ready.
Okay, this is a situation. My wife and I have been married for 3 years. She has a 16-year-old that lives with us. I have 2 sons that are 13 and 15 who comes for the summer. They live in a different state, okay? My wife makes more money than I do. I'm gonna skip some of the big details. We don't need all that information. So the wife make more money. He ended up losing his job. So she was like, hey, I'm a principal. Why don't you go back into education, right? So it's easy. Everybody needs teachers right now, right? So he went back to get his certification to be a teacher. So as we know, teachers don't make that much money. So while he went to go get his teaching certification, he was driving a little putt-putt car. His car went out. Okay, his car went out. He needed to buy a new car. So he asked his wife to co-sign for him a car. Now remember, he's going back to get his teaching certification. He don't have a job. The wife is the only one working right now. So he asked his wife to co-sign for him a car. She told him, no. So remember, his sons are coming down for the summer. Her daughter lived with them. She told him no. So the ex-wife probably called, ring, ring, ring. So we're getting everything set up for the boys to come down. Do you have transportation? He's like, no, my car went out. She's like, what you gonna do? Our boys need a car for them to get around in. As they're talking through the conversation, somehow or another in the conversation, it comes up, I guess, that I don't know how the conversation went.
The kids can't come.
No. Somehow or another, the ex-wife ends up co-signing for the ex-husband to have a car. So now, he shows up at the house with a brand new ride. So the new wife says, oh, how you get that ride? So now he's asking on Conversate With Us, do I need to tell my new wife how I got my car? Because she keep asking me. I feel like I don't need to tell her since she didn't want to co-sign for me. Is it her business who co-signed for me a car?
Yes. We keeping secrets.
He feel like he shouldn't have to tell her since she
That is a
said
secret.
No, we ain't keeping no secrets. And yet it is her business to know.
But she,
however, she did say that she was not co-signing
Right.
and not helping him get a car. So if the ex-wife is the person who co-signed or helped get the car,
Oh,
No, that's not cool.
Oh,
it's not cool. I didn't say it was okay.
That's not cool.
I didn't say it was okay at all.
That's not cool.
That's when he should have used his discretion and was like, no, and figured it out another
Exactly.
way.
yeah.
But, I mean, the wife said no, but no, he could have went another way.
He could have went another route in regards to that. That's very deceptive, for one. Keeping that, not disclosing information to your spouse, the person that you married. And y'all are exes for a reason.
Exactly.
Why are you stepping back? That doesn't, you're convoluting the situation.
Yeah, you giving her an opportunity to come back.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's almost like he shouldn't have to do anything to dishonor his wife. So that in itself, where she said no, but you gonna go across to the ex, and she just waved in front of your face. Oh, I got you. Don't worry, I'll refinance it for you. And he get the car. So now he done brought trouble back to his house because now she's like, how'd you get this car?
Yeah.
Well, my ex-wife paid for it. Oh,
What
that's-
kind of woman is she and what kind of man is he? What kind of woman is gonna be like, okay, yes, I am going to. I ex at that, unless you're thirsty.
okay, there was a little part that I left out. Okay, VIPs and co-hosts. The part that I left out was, okay, so they live in his house. And when I say his house, the house they live in was inherited to him. So there's no mortgage on the home. So he feels like since there's no mortgage on the home, that the wife, there is no reason for her to say she wouldn't co-sign on the car. Like basically, if we don't have no mortgage and you have a job and you making cute coins over here, I'm not working, I'm going back to school because you asked me to go back to school, and my boys are coming in the summer. We take care of your daughter every day, and I'm asking you to help me as your husband, and we not paying this $1,000 to $2,000 a month mortgage. Why would you not want to help your husband? John, does that not change your mind? Because I get what you're saying, John, but that was kind of real shade for her to not want to help her husband. And
she don't want to include. I mean, she probably already has, got his bad credit for one. Why isn't he not?
He don't have he don't have any credit. That's what he said. He said he doesn't have bad credit.
Why he don't have a job?
Credit. Well, he got laid off from his job. It's COVID.
Okay, it's the summertime, so they can use one car. She's a principal, so she obviously.
She seems stingy. Is that GLL? She don't want to share. She don't want to put on his credit. She definitely don't want to share a car.
I don't know.
No.
I think they probably should have. I wonder how long have they been married?
3 years. He said 3 years.
And how long did they date before they got married?
I don't.
Right.
But
Because it doesn't sound like they working together.
I
Yeah.
know. Her daughter lived there. They live in
Well,
his
how old is
house.
your daughter?
16.
Well, she's supposed to live there.
Okay, you're missing what I'm saying, John. I get that.
She's supposed to
It
live
seems
there.
to me like it's all about her. Is what it sounds like to me. I mean, it's seeming real
No, it seems
one-sided,
like he
John.
needs to take responsibility.
John, you being real hard on this man
He
over
needs-
here.
He needs to pull his big man drawers up.
John, they live in his house. It's his
It's
house.
not his house that he worked for. He was inherited.
That's-
So it's not his house like that.
I mean, John, it ain't his fault that he like
No, it could
Mike
be.
Lowry.
No, she probably just married the wrong man.
John, John, most men would be like, you being real mean over here.
I'm just
No.
keeping it real.
No.
100.
No.
You being real.
No, I'm just keeping it real.
I'm just saying, all he asked his wife to do was co-sign. He didn't ask her to buy him a car.
You gonna go
That is buying a car.
He said
That
he
is.
would pay the car now.
No.
Co-signing is buying a car.
Yes, you are.
Okay,
You
y'all
are.
being kind of
You
mean
don't-
right now.
Listen, let me say this real quick, and because I'm looking at some comments from the VIPs.
What's the
Okay.
VIP?
And
Tell
let me say this
what
because
you
I know what Stephanie Raquel Mays would do,
Okay,
and I could only talk from that.
okay.
Two things here, okay? One, that's a heck of a relationship that gentleman has with his ex.
Right.
If she's willing to do that, kudos to that, because 90% of men and women don't have that type of relationship with their ex.
Right.
So for that to even be, I think that's worthy of a conversation with my wife in the first place. I'm sure she's well aware, his new wife is well aware of the relationship that they have.
Right.
So this conversation shouldn't become as bad as we making it out to be, because the wife
No,
knows
he made
it.
it bad because that's why he writing in.
Now watch this. If he gets a car, I agree. Communication is the key. You
Right.
gotta communicate. So you're gonna get beat up for that. You deserve to get beat up for that.
I
all right.
completely agree.
You deserve. But however, I want to commend you as well because you have a wife and you have an ex, and they all have good relationships, which means that the kids are in good standings. Okay. So I think there's some positives here that we need to address, especially in black families. Just want to throw that out there. But there's also some things that if you don't want to get yourself in more trouble, you might want to take heed to your mess up and continue to kind of,
Right.
make sure you right or wrong. Because she deserves to be mad for the communication. Not because you got the new car, because that helped her out too. I just see people don't think about that. That new car helped the new wife out too.
Because she gonna drive.
She gonna drive it, and she gonna ride in it. She gonna put groceries in it.
Yep.
She gonna do all that. And here's the crazy thing: she ain't got no money.
Right.
So let me be the devil's advocate here.
As you do so well.
Yeah.
You really do, John.
So your ex-husband
Uh-huh.
offers to co-sign for your car.
Yeah.
Brian already told you he wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah.
How would you approach that?
So let me say this.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, everybody knows me and my ex-husband have a phenomenal relationship,
Yes.
right? So first off, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not saying I disagree with you guys. I absolutely would never do that. Absolutely. And my ex-husband would absolutely offer to co-sign for me a car. But I would never do that to my husband. That wouldn't even be an option at all, right? We have very good communication, my husband and I. That wouldn't be an option. It's just another little twist that I left off on the story.
I'm just telling the whole story.
I know. It was a very complicated story, okay? The reason why Holly, unfortunately, they don't have the best relationship, the two women, and the reason being is because when he first lost his job, the current wife asked him to go to the ex-wife and asked him to lower the child support. So she asked
I'm mad at him.
She asked him and said, you don't have no job. You need to go tell that woman you need to lower the child support. Like, go to her and ask her to lower the child support. And he said, I don't feel comfortable doing that because since I live in another state and she does everything for my children, doctor's appointments, baseball games, parent-teacher conferences, the least I can do is let her keep the money. When he did that, the current wife shut down shop. I'm talking about the bedroom and everything. She locked it down. She felt slighted as the wife. She felt like, oh, wait a minute, what you mean you don't feel comfortable? I'm
That's
the wife.
selfishness.
Yeah, it is.
So that's what she did. So then when his car broke down and he had to go ask her, can you co-sign for me a car? She was like, oh, you need something from me now.
So
The
she did
answer
that
is
despite
no.
Okay, so they sound like they're about to go to divorce court.
Right.
So then when she did that, now his sons had to come in town. And so probably when the ex-wife called to say, hey, I'm about to buy the boys tickets, you know, is everything okay? He's like, oh, you know, I don't have transportation. So the ex-wife was like, look, the boys really want to come. What do you need me to do? And he
But that totally,
he probably said
That
to
changes the
that
dynamic.
changed
yeah, that changed the whole dynamic. You should have said that in the first place because we
So
could have
right.
cut this off in 2 minutes. Nah, that's. See, listen, and here's the thing.
I just want to see what y'all just say.
It still doesn't matter. It still doesn't matter.
Yeah, he should have.
He still should have communicated.
I totally agree.
But I'm gonna say
totally
for the
agree.
wife,
Right.
you may need to go get a little bit of counseling because at the end of the day, you're dealing with something psychological, and you in your feelings.
Yeah.
Because it ain't about you. You know, when it comes to those kids, I always say this: it's not about the parents; it's about those kids.
I agree.
And when you find out those kids, your selfishness should have been shut down, and you should have been like, okay, what do we need to do so that they can be comfortable?
Yes.
You know, so
Yep.
you know but once again, that's
It
a
goes back to the
communication.
third foundation,
When you
Yes.
marry me, you marry the kids. too.
You marry the
Right.
kids and everything that come with the kids.
Right.
And that's
Unless
what,
they grown.
No, they're 13 and 15.
No,
yeah,
I'm
you're
saying,
saying once they
if
get grown,
they
that's
grown
different.
now.
And that's the conversation that Ryan and I had, and that's what I told him. I was like, oh no, it's time for divorce. Because when your daughter lived here every single day, so your daughter lives here every single day. And when your daughter lives here, my kids are only here in the summer. So when you think about it, the fact that you had the audacity to tell me that you don't care how my kids get around, or you want me to lower the child support with my kids, but you're absolutely right. Like, this woman is in a whole other state doing everything for his kids every single day. I would have never asked for my husband to lower the child support. I don't know how much the child support is. Like, I don't know if it's $5,000 a month or $500 a month. I can't say that. I mean, 5,000. You know, this whole what NBA players pay for kids, it don't take that much to raise kids, right? If it's a decent amount for 2 kids, like if it's under 1,000 or below, I think that's reasonable. Now, if we talking about 2
I don't
kids,
have any children.
right?
I don't have
But
any
I do,
wives,
so I
nothing.
know how much it costs to raise children.
Yeah.
It don't cost more than $1,000 a month to raise 2 kids unless they go to like private school, right? So I say that because I don't know this person how much he's paying, but if it's under 1,000, I would have never asked my husband to lower his child support.
It ain't
I
under
would-
1,000.
Right. See,
Yeah, it's up there.
like if it's under 1,000, I wouldn't have asked. But he didn't say he was making a killing. She's a principal, so I don't know what he does for a living.
She
Anywho, all
probably
that
ain't making a killing either.
right. All that being said, but like he said, we didn't have a mortgage, right? My car. He said he didn't have a car note. His car was paid cash. So in his mind, he's thinking, I'm already doing the best I can to, keep finances good in our house.
Go to toe to no.
That's what he did, though. He did that.
And
That's-
still needed a cosigner? Something ain't right.
We're gonna take a break because John is heated over here. Let's take a break really fast, VIPs. We'll be right back.
Real quickly, I want to give a shout out to all those that are looking for internships and volunteers to be on Dallas Confidential TV. Listen, we are opening up the channel right now to accept all applications for interns and volunteers in the following positions via cameraman, director, producer, set coordinator, you name it. Hey, we want you to give us a shout out. You can hit us on any social media site to get us your resume, or you can get us via your email as well. I want to give a shout out to Prestige Creations, where perception becomes reality. Prestige Creations at gmail.com. Please email them for all design prices. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Prestige Creations. Want to give a shout out to JSE Productions. They are responsible for the intro, the outro, everything you see graphic on our show. They are responsible for it. You can get in touch with Sophia Edwards or email her at jscproductions@mail.com. Again, that's jscproductions@mail.com. Or you can give her a call or text message at 214-916-8657. Want to also give a shout out to Juice Fruits LLC. Juice Fruits LLC out of Houston, Texas. You can get in touch with them at juicefruitshouston@gmail.com, or you can just go to their website at www.juicefruitshtx.com. Holla at Mitchell Dixon out of Houston, Texas. It's a lifestyle, not a weekend. Get fresh fruits and vegetable cold pressed juices. Also, we would be remiss not to give a shout out to one of our biggest sponsors, WPS Studios over at 900 East Beltline Road, DeSoto, Texas, 75115, Dr. Vanell Warren. They specialize in filming, photography, and videography. And if you're an up-and-coming church and you need a place to hold chapel services, they also have chapel services as well. Back to you, Don.
Thank you very much, Holly. We're going to go on and move on to the next dating dilemma because we could talk about that one all day. Are you ready, Mr. Russell?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, let's go, John. What you got?
All right, so this person wrote in and said, this VIP wrote in and said, what do you do when your significant other's ex began to stalk you? It's very stalkerish already. Brandy and Mark met and started dating under the pretenses that Mark was going through a divorce. And after meeting each other's families and dating for almost 2 years, Mark's ex begins to send irate text messages to Brandy's family, Brandy's job, Brandy's friends. And once she sent this letter to Brandy's job, it caused Brandy to lose her job.
Mm.
Oh wow.
What do you think happened to make his ex start acting this way, and what should Brandy do?
Wow.
Ryan?
Okay. Yeah, he need to nip that in the bud and handle it, because something was going on with that ex for her to even initiate something like that, and now it's gotten to the point of she's lost her job because of this. It's almost like, it seems like something else is missing to where, why, psychologically, why would she even still be that affected with him moving on? And almost to the point of she's not even attacking him, she's attacking the ex-girlfriend.
That's what women do.
So it's like, she has nothing to do with this, so
Not just women.
why would you affect her? It seems like it's something strange, and now it's affected her job, so now it's almost like she's trying to affect their relationship because he done moved on and got happy.
Man, what I would say is that Brandy should handle up on his ass. And because somewhere it was warning signs leading up to this.
Yeah.
This just didn't happen all of a sudden. Either you have been communicating with this lady outside of your current situation to have been misleading. People don't just act that way just because.
Yeah.
And I say that because I was in a stalker situation where someone was stalking me after I had moved on. And it's not fun. And no, I didn't do anything to lead the other person on, but I had just had that good sex for them. You know? And so, you know, it's some people that just don't want to, if they can't have you, they don't want to see you with anybody else. But I still would get in his ass too.
Krista?
I think it's probably a 50-50. Like you say, either something is still going on, or either this person, like you say, because I've been in both situations where a person just don't want to see, they don't want you, they don't want to see you happy with anybody else, they don't want to let you go, they're not ready to move on, or they're not ready for you to move on,
Right.
but they have moved on. So I don't know, it's a little sticky situation there.
What should Brandy do? That was the ultimate question. What should she do? What should she do, Donna?
You mean legally or illegally?
Well, legally, let's talk about the legally, because it is really hard to get support in that.
I mean, you have to understand, I'm a different type of woman. I'm a love him and leave him type chick. Like, I don't have time for drama.
But
I
she
don't
don't
do
cause you to
drama.
lose your job.
That's what I'm saying. So there you go. Legally, I would put them laws in her life. Like, right? I would immediately go to the police and I would file a stalker complaint. I would file anything that I can to have them. I would file a harassment claim.
It's very
Not-
expensive for that.
That's not if you go through, because that is a harassment, right? So you can file a harassment. Now, it depends on what city you live in. You don't know if it's gonna be a short stack that they're gonna jump right on top of it, or if it's gonna be the city of LA where it's gonna take 7 years for them to touch it, right? So it all depends on the city that you live in. So we don't know where she lives, and then some people don't want to put the laws in their life because we don't know if Brandy got a felony. She don't want to walk in the police station, right? So we don't know. I feel like Brandy needs to let Mark handle it. This is Mark's situation all day long to handle, right? And plus, we don't know if there's children involved in the situation. We don't know if Brandy and Mark got kids or Mark have kids with his ex. So
F them kids.
okay, I feel like Mark should handle this. This is Mark's situation to handle. Me personally, I would be done with Mark completely. Like,
Yes.
I can't have this type of drama coming to my front door. I am done. I am so done. If I've lost my job because of your ex-woman, there is nothing more for me to say, because you should have handled that situation. That's your job to handle Brandy. And I don't want to say your job to put your hands on Brandy, because then everybody be talking about condone men beating up on women. That's not what I said. But that is your job to handle that woman. That is not my job. That woman should have never crossed my doorstep,
I
right?
agree.
So that's what I mean, like there, and I don't mean cross my doorstep like we should have never had a conversation. I don't have a problem with women talking to women, but once you knew who you used to deal with, right?
Mhm.
So we talked about this last week on Dating Dilemmas. I have no problem with two women talking, but once we got past the civil conversation, that was for him to handle, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like now that we're way past the civil conversation, I've lost how I feed my children. And now I potentially could catch a case because I'm real there now. It's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. It's time for me to change my phone number. It's time for me to change my email. It's time for me to change my address. I'm done. Because now I'm at a point where I could probably lose my freedom and you could lose your life. And so it's time to go. For real. That's
Yeah,
my
it's
thing.
not always easy to go get the laws. They want you to pay out money.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
sometimes even trying to
Because I
restrain-
carry a gun and I was wanting to shoot him. And I was just trying to do the right thing
Yeah.
and involve the police. And I said, see, this is why people get killed.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of times you're right. They'll say, oh, it's only so much we can do.
Or have they put their hands on you?
Yeah,
Have they
right.
physically
Threatened
assaulted
you.
you?
Right.
You know, and if
Yeah.
it's
Right.
if that has not happened,
Right.
then it's like, well, we can't do
Nothing we
anything.
can
So
do.
what do? You wait until another woman ends up dead or whatever.
Right, that's why I
because
said,
of
yeah.
domestic violence, and then
Yeah,
you know,
somebody has to actually be
Yeah.
harmed for them to jump. I totally agree. So I said you're in a catch-22, so the best thing for you to do is to literally walk away, because you don't know what that man has said. Like she said, what should I do? What has he done?
Yeah.
And that whole, I don't know why she did that, miss me. Because we
Right.
all know that they're lying, right? And if he is innocent, he will be the 1 in 17th trillion who did absolutely nothing. But that's typically not the case, where that middle person's hands are clean.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because he had to know that's probably the reason why they broke up. So him moving on to another relationship, he probably already saw little signs of and just was like, oh, it ain't nothing. Now it's got to the point that she lost her job. Now she's gonna either look at him crazy and look at her crazy. So her whole state of mind is gonna be messed up as well. So she's like, okay, so when you get home, you're gonna have these hot grits waiting for you. So that's my job because
Right, absolutely. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take a commercial, and we will be right back.
Once again, we want to thank you guys for joining Dallas Confidential TV at WPS Studios, where we ask you to continue to share and like everything that we're doing on social media. Please go to our YouTube channel and make sure that you subscribe, and follow us on our Instagram and our Facebook page. Want to give a great shout out to all of our sponsors. Ebony over at the Team of Money Coaches, we want to say thank you so much for being a great supporter. We want to also say thank you to WPS Studios, Dr. Vanell Warren. Thank you so much for being a contributor of this show. We want to give a shout out to Juice Fruits LLC out in Houston, Texas. Mitchell Dixon, we want to say thank you so much. I love you. God bless you. And we want to also give a shout out to JSE Productions over at with Miss Sophia Edwards, 216-916-8657. Thank you so much for all that you guys do. And I would be remiss not to give a shout out to the guys that make all my shirts, Prestige Creations, where perception becomes reality. Follow those guys on Facebook and Instagram. Listen, we want to say thank you so much. Do me a favor, guys. Make sure that you follow us on all of our social media sites at Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Back to you, Don.
Thank you very much, you guys. As we always say, this show is way too short. It's time for us to go already, and we still have one more dating dilemma. So unfortunately, we're probably gonna have to wait until next season to do it because we are out of time and we cannot do a dating dilemma part 3. So I think we may have just a few more minutes, maybe. Holly, we have 5 more minutes. Holly's graced us with 5 more minutes. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so I think we have, Ryan, don't you have a Dear Confidential Television? Didn't you have one that wrote in?
Well, actually,
I think Holly had. Yeah, Holly has one.
Yeah.
Holly, you want? Crystal can read yours if you want. Do you have yours?
So yeah, let Crystal read it.
Yeah. Holly, don't you have yours?
Or
do you have it?
I got it.
Okay, Holly has it.
I got it. So listen, guys, I'm actually reading this, and this is crazy. All right, it says, "Dear Dallas Confidential, I need your advice. I'm currently in a relationship, but things are not quite what they are cracked up to be. In the beginning, I was reaching out to a friend who was in need. She was going through hard times. I really wanted to help her out. She was kicked out of her home and moved in a location at the last minute. She didn't have any furniture. I helped her get on her feet because I realized how it felt when someone abandons you and expecting you not to make it without you. Over time, it turned to something more, but later realized she wasn't honest about the situation. Now I'm at the point of looking out for myself and moving on because I realized she was just a rebound. Is it wrong for me to feel this way with no worries?"
Oh wow.
Y'all want me to start on this, don't you?
Yes.
I think she answered her own question.
Is it a she or a he?
We're going to assume, I think it's a he or a she.
It was a sham.
It was.
That's what I was like. I thought.
'Cause-
Well, she is the one that got the help.
Okay. So
I do know
it's
that.
him that wrote
Sound like it's
in.
a him.
Okay, well, it may be a him, whoever it
He said
is.
that she was a rebound.
Here's the whole thing.
Okay, explain it.
You found out your own issue and corrected it. You found out that this person was a liar. You found out that, I mean, straight up, you found out this person was a liar. You found out that this person was not honest about the situation. And now you're feeling some type of way because you probably done put time and money and then you done caught feelings.
Right.
Okay, so now you feel used. So do you feel sorry for moving on and feeling this way?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
You know, absolutely not. Because 2 things, you've done what you could and you did what friends do. But you also got done to you the same thing that things get done to you when you decide to invest time, energy, and money into other people, especially when you move them in your house. You can't move nobody in your house and you don't catch feelings some way, somehow.
Yep.
All right? So that's my response to it.
Yeah, because there's all kind of red flags. Cause
All kinds of red
got
flags.
kicked out. He's like, okay, I'm gonna help you out now. You helped her out. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know you was like Misery. You up here acting crazy and stuff.
Okay,
Okay.
so the situation, he moved her in, and then she ended up being absolutely not who he thought she was, John.
Right.
Have you ever moved somebody in and you like, okay, what did I just do? Have you ever moved somebody in and you like, okay, what did I just do?
Nah.
Because you never moved somebody in?
No, I've never had that situation. where I'm like, what did I might have spent some time with somebody.
Right.
It's like, okay, what did I?
Yeah, I don't do that moving in thing.
Yeah.
Just shacking up.
Because we gotta, if we shacking, we in this thing for real.
Yeah.
So it's not no, you move in and like, dang, no.
Got it. Got it.
I've let some people come stay with me. And like,
Well, your
Yeah,
time is
yeah.
almost up.
That mean you moved to me.
Yeah.
yeah.
Got it. Okay. I got it. Okay, you guys. Thank you, Dallas Confidential TV VIPs. We have enjoyed this Dating Dilemma show. This has been wonderful. We appreciate you guys writing into us. We appreciate you guys typing into us. Thank you guys for your constant feed into the show. This has been so phenomenal. Like, you guys feeding into the show has been great. Final thoughts about dating dilemmas. How are we dating in these streets these days? Online, meeting people in these streets. This has been just great finding Crystal, meeting her boo through Facebook. I didn't know that you can even meet people on Facebook,
I mean,
dating.
Yes.
Yeah, how'd you meet your boo? Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, hold on, wait a minute.
Online.
Oh, okay. We're just gonna keep it there. Online. We're just gonna leave it right there. And that's all we want to say about that. It's just
Yes.
online.
That's it.
Oh Lord
His-
Jesus. Okay,
His
so we're just
husband's
gonna
back
say
there saying, you
online.
better not say nothing.
Oh Lord, I know. Like, leave it right there. Ryan, how did we meet? Not 20 years ago. How did we get reconnected?
What we call is the DM on Facebook. Just reaching out over a couple of months and eventually finally got her attention.
I know.
Over social
Media. He was dropping them DMs. I was like, hey. And then finally I was like, okay, he is serious. I guess I should say more than hey, right? So anyway, that's all to be said about that.
Rest is history.
The rest is history. Okay, so I had some places that you can go for happy hours. It's not pulling up. I'm sorry, you guys. Do you remember happy hour spots? One was
well,
Burger Rim.
We
Okay.
have some good little minority-owned businesses.
Yeah, I can't remember all of them. Do you remember some of them, Crystal?
So we have Burger M.
Yes.
And in
West
Dallas,
End.
West End.
Yes. Great minority-owned happy hour spot, Burger Rim. What was another one?
We have Mardi Gras Daiquiri
Mardi Gras Daiquiri. Oh yeah, that's
on Galloway out in Mesquite.
Mesquite. I've been there several times. It's a phenomenal place off of 80 in Galloway.
Oh, the
Yeah.
one in Grand Prairie. What's the one we went to?
The Daiquiri Shop.
Daiquiri Shop.
In Grand Prairie, yeah, everybody knows Daiquiri Shop in Grand Prairie and in Carrollton. Wonderful place to go hang out, especially on game days. If you're a New Orleans person, you already know the Daiquiri Shops in Carrollton and Grand Prairie. And another happy hour spot, place to hang out. Happy hour.
Happiest hour.
Oh yeah, everybody knows the Happiest
Oh, yeah.
Hour by the AAC. That's a phenomenal place to go and turn up. Everybody know that one. You got one more?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay, so final thoughts, dating dilemmas, stay out of these streets, get in these streets.
Stay out of these streets. Stay out of these streets.
Stay out of these streets.
Shoot, my thoughts, try to find that one and get up out these streets.
Ryan,
My final thoughts is don't be thirsty if you try to get a relationship. Just wait for it to come to you. If you love yourself, it'll happen. If you don't, you'll end up with somebody that treats you less than what you treat yourself.
Good thought.
Oh,
Oh.
wait a minute.
Holly, final thoughts, dating dilemmas.
Communicate better.
Communicate better. My dating dilemma is to whom much is given, much is required. So if you're gonna date, make sure you give it 100%. Because if you're not, just don't date at all. We love you. This show does not work without you. Next week's show is Health versus Wealth.
Yes.
Yes.
Health versus wealth. Which one is more important to you? We will find out. We'll see you next Saturday, 2:30. You guys stay safe. No more rioting. No more looting. Let's take care of one another. Go register to vote. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Protect our sisters and our brothers.